All right, everybody, we are back with another episode of the Spoold Media Podcast. This is going to be episode number 3, and we're going to feature tonight a former West Coast, now Midwest racer. Y'all seen the car doing all of its craziness at like War in the Woods, out on the West Coast in the streets, and Texas in the streets, Small Tire Gangsters, all them good events. It's also one of our Nitrous Express homies. If y'all don't know the name Brent Albury, you're about to know the name here on the Spoold Media Podcast as my man drives the hate train, one of the coolest Fox bodies out there right now. We're going to talk about the history on the car, what got Brent into racing, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of everything tonight. So hope y'all enjoying this podcast. And it looks like he's logged in. We're going to bring him right on in because he's actually going to be driving down the road while we're doing this. So, all right, let's get him in. You got a copy on us, Brent?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Nothing much, man. Just hanging out, living the dream as always.
Oh, yeah, I hear you. I hear that.
So,
Hopefully
why don't you
y'all can
introduce
see.
yourself to every... Yeah, I can see you pretty good.
Cool.
So, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody? There might be some new people on the podcast that's never heard of Brent Albury, doesn't know Brent Albury. Let's give them a quick rundown on Brent Albury.
Man, my name is Brent Albury, or better known as the Lug Thug, my boy. Oh, my seatbelt dinger gonna drive us nuts. Hang on, let me get that. It's a lot better than what Chuck was calling me at first. You know what I mean? Like the first name Chuck gave me wasn't very cool, bro. I didn't like that name. He's calling me Freddie Mercury and all that. Man, I got a beautiful mustache, but it don't mean I like dudes. I was like, what, bro? Come on, man. Anyway, so I'm Brent Albury, born and raised in SoCal, and then I basically started my racing career in Arizona. Raced in Arizona for like the past 6 years, something like that. We did get the opportunity to do a lot of Street Outlaws, small tire shows, and we did, I'd like to say I think we did pretty good, comparatively speaking.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, and here we are, you know what I mean? Just trying to run with the bubble we're building.
Hell yeah, man. So, what really got you into drag racing?
Man, I had a lot of hobbies when I was younger. Like in my early 20s and stuff, I've always had to grind and do stuff on my own. You know what I mean? I've never had anyone there helping me. I mean, I got my mom and stuff, but there's no help. You know what I mean? It's like I've had it instilled in me when I was young. Like if you want something, you're going to have to do it yourself. So I wanted dirt bikes, and I got into dirt bikes, and I wanted trucks, and I got into trucks and stuff. So anyway, what I'm saying is it kind of got me wheeling dealing at a young age, and I stumbled across a G-body. Had a small block Chevy, and I was just going to flip it. Like I wanted a Bronco. I had a Bronco in mind, and this guy wanted a race car, so my head, I was like, all right, man, I'm going to get this G-body. I'm going to flip it to this dude, and I'm going to get me a freaking Bronco. I got the G-body, and old boy didn't want to trade, so I was stuck with this G-body, and I was like, well, I might as well play with it and have some fun. It was a 82 Pontiac Grand Prix. Originally came with a diesel, and it had a small block Chevy swapped into it. Well, we put a cam in it. I figured I'm gonna keep this thing. I'm gonna play around with it. I'm gonna do the old double hump heads, tricorder race cam and see what this mamma jammy can do. And boy, was I a bracket racing fool. I mean, I probably wasn't a bracket racing fool because at that time I didn't even know what bracket racing was or even a track. But I had the attitude of a bracket racer, right? Like, you can't mess with me. I got a small block Chevy, boy. I mean, I thought I was the coolest thing since Cracker Jacks, bro. I'm telling you. I thought I was so cool. Probably ran like a 16. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know no better. I was young. But that thing got me bit, though. Like, the hanging out with your buddies in the garage, putting the cam in, working on your car, kind of seeing what it's going to do, the upgrades, and actually seeing like, oh man, this thing was a turd before and it kind of will spin the tire now. It kind of got me hooked. So we ended up swapping a 355 in that thing, pretty decently built small block Chevy. And I got gapped by my buddy in his little all-motor B-Series Honda, so I sold that G-body the next day.
Oh no.
I was done. I said, screw this. I'm doing it wrong. I thought I had a muscle car, bro. I thought muscle cars for the win. Nah, bro. Old boy got me with this Honda. I sold that G-body, and I thought I was done with cars. Lo and behold, I had a lifted F-150, and this guy offered me a Fox body a couple months later, and I'm like, Mustang's always been kind of cool. Yeah, I'll trade you. Had a little shot of nitrous on it, had a little Edelbrock intake, some Edelbrock heads, little 302, you know what I mean? It was fun, bro. I blew that thing up, ended up building a motor for that. It was a 91 Canary Yellow, just banana yellow, bro. Just, oh man, it was epic. So I had that for a long time. A couple different 302s, 408 strokers, all this different stuff. And that really got me started. I was like, oh man, it kind of went pretty quick. I'd say it, probably went like 12s or 13s. At that time, to me, that was fast. That got me bit. I was like, oh man, the nitrous is awesome, freaking heck yeah. So I'd say that started it, bro. I'd say that was my first car, and that's really the little breakdown of my whole beginning into this car scene. Once I got that Fox body, I was dead hooked. It didn't matter what I lost to. I didn't care. I just wanted to do better, and that's what started me, But honestly, I had a G body, lost to a Honda, and tried to give up.
So if y'all heard,
I'm glad
the Fox body is the step up from the G body, if anybody ever wonders.
Oh man, but no, I'm glad I didn't. I love this stuff, man. I love this whole everything. I love everything about what we do.
Oh, dude, the whole community, everything in drag racing, that's what makes it. I mean, it's not just about going out there and racing, it's everything about it.
Yep.
And so, something that's always caught, because, I started watching a lot of the West Coast videos when you're out there racing and stuff. Something that caught my eyes, I was like, my man's got white walls on his car. Like, what's with the white walls? Why you have white walls on the car?
So I had a theory with street bike tires. When I had long travel and stuff on the car, I had a theory. I don't know if I want to share it with America, but a square tire. Let's just be honest. I'll share it with America. I don't care. Here's my reason. This will be the first. I've never told anyone this, bro. You're gonna be the first podcast I've ever told this information to. So my theory.
Dropping it official.
Yeah, my theory, and it could be dumb, right? It could be a goofy theory, and people will laugh at me. But I've had both tires, so just comes from my experience too. I had a Mickey Thompson ET Street on the front, square car tire, right? Well, how much travel these? You can't see my hands, so I don't know what to do with my hands. How much travel these Fox bodies got, right? Like they travel like crazy. So here's your tire. When you're traveling, your tire is doing this, whether you want it to or not. Your tire is going to have a decent amount of camber, right? Like you can't get the camber perfect at ride height and perfect at long travel. With the travel we have, it will not be perfect. So my theory is when that thing's traveling and it's on that square tire, it would kind of rip the steering wheel out of my hand. Like it would track. I could feel it track because that square tire would ride the edge, right? And I'd feel it on the steering wheel. I'd have to drive it. So I put street bike tires on it because street bike tires are meant to corner. And no matter what angle you're at, wherever my hand is, no matter what angle you're at, it has the same amount of contact patch and weight on that contact patch. So to me, it's it with the travel that it has with that bike tire. So when I put a bike tire on, I said, nah, it's just going to be another turbo LS Fox body. Big deal. Walmart sells them nowadays. So I just wanted something that kind of shouted me out, that when you looked at the car, you're like, dang, that thing's kind of cool, bro. Like I wanted something that popped from just your everyday average LS swapped Fox body, because everybody has them nowadays, bro,
Oh yeah.
I just wanted to be different.
That's what caught my attention, because I was like, I've never seen this. I'm not seeing a white wall on especially a Fox body here in a long time. And then I pull up a YouTube video and I see this guy on the street, so I'm like, my man has got white walls. I like it. Amen. But,
yeah. So no, man, it's just like I said, just for attention basically. And then I do have that theory with the street bike tire and the contact patch. They're heavier. They are a heavier tire, and everybody's like, "Oh, the tire's heavier. It's not rated for the car. It's not rated for the speed." How heavy? At the end of the day, how heavy are these cars on the front? When we're building these cars, we're trying to get the front as light as we possibly can. Mm-hmm. It's not a 3,000 pounds on one tire. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's 2024, bro. Can we cuss on this or no?
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, okay. It's 2024, bro. People eat ass, and you're scared to run a street bike tire? Come on.
Hell, I mean, and that's truth. I mean, this ain't radio racing. We're not trying to move all the weight to keep the nose down. We're trying to put that ass on the ground. I mean, we're trying to lift that front up and
Yeah.
get that extension and get rolling.
Especially like on these crappier surfaces and stuff like that. I mean, you guys saw me at War in the Woods and stuff. Like, I mean, it don't not let the car wheelie or anything like that. It still freaking drags the bumper. So like, it's not like it's heavy. It's not like it's messing me up. So it's all good. You know, I mean, it doesn't bug me. The people that I always see these posts. People tag me. I get tagged in every single one of these. Can you run a bike tire on a car? I get tagged on every single one. I guarantee you. You see a post, scroll through the comments. I'm tagged probably 67 times. And I love looking at the comments of all these people. It's not weight rated for that. You can't do that. It's not speed rated for a car. You can't do that. It's not got the right rubber. Well, my dad didn't have the right rubber either, and look what happened. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can still do good things, bro. You can still do good
Yeah.
things with the wrong things. It don't matter.
No, and that's funny because,
So,
people say that, but, I came from the radial side a lot, and, dude, a lot of radial guys were running them, too. I mean, it wasn't nothing that was uncommon.
yeah, no, for sure. That's where I got the idea. I saw a car with a bike tire, and I was like, man, that looks rad. Like, I want to try that. I had a square tire at first. It was kind of steering me all weird and stuff, and that's when I was like, man, I remember I wanted to run a bike tire, and I guarantee you, I won't have to fight with the steering. Like, I won't have an issue with the steering wheel. I bet you it'll be comfortable as crap. And it was. Like, lo and behold, it was perfect. So, I don't think I'll go back.
So you mentioned War in the Woods. Now, that was your first trip to War in the Woods, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So
Yep.
what's your take on Brown County? How'd you like that?
Epic. Man, I can't say anything other than epic. Like, oh, look, man, that'd be a good road to make some test hits on right there. Man, I like that. Nice and straight. Sorry, my bad.
I'm in West Virginia. We don't have them rides anywhere.
That was a nice road. I'd be driving through Texas. I'm like, oh, man, I can test right. Oh, man, I can test right there. War in the Woods was epic, bro. Jeff's been a buddy for a long time. I've ran his products for a long time. Very knowledgeable guy. Very good at what he does. The last, I'd say 3 War in the Woods, like when I lived in Arizona, I was literally testing to leave, to load the car in the trailer. It was when you guys had that $100,000 race, and then like the weekend after that, I think was War in the Woods. And Jason, my buddy Jason, drove out there and stuff, and he had the 55. I was supposed to go with him. Literally the night before we left, I decided to go test. And I think I had an issue with a head gasket or something like that, and I just wasn't gonna have parts in time, so I wasn't gonna make it. But like, I was upset for not making it, but in a roundabout way, I was like, man, I'm kind of glad that I dug the car out of the trailer and went and made one test hit, because I didn't blow a head gasket on that pass. I found out that I had a bad head gasket on that pass. You know what I mean? So we would have went all the way to War in the Woods and had a bad head gasket. I would have had a bad head gasket. But I'm so happy, dude. Like I said, like the last 3 races, some dumb stuff happened. So I was ecstatic to finally make it. A 26 class was awesome. I felt like it was a class that was just calling my name instantly. Like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, ooh, I'm going for 26s. No experience. Like, I made 2 test hits before we went there on a whole different surface. Like, and man, it was epic. The people, the vibe, the track, the huge gangster wheelie gapping old boy, which, no offense to him, like Cool Nova was awesome. I'm not being cocky, nothing like that, but just my very first pass at
Spoold Media thumbndale with the wheelie. I mean, you can't beat
dude,
that.
I was so happy about that, bro. It's all surreal to me, because like 4 or 5 years ago, bro, I'm watching all these people race. I'm watching all these thumbnails, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, man, I want to be there one day. I want to be on that Cali Nate level. I've been looking up to Cali Nate for years. Like, I can't wait. Like, I want to hit all these races, and it's surreal because it's coming true, like Jimmy and Poland told me, bro, at Gangster's Paradise. Gangster's Paradise is the only race I've ever been to, not taking anything away from Andrew. And I don't know if you had planned on talking about this race. Sorry if I'm jumping the gun.
Yeah.
But
oh, no. Go
Gangster's
ahead, man.
Paradise is the only race I've ever been to that in the finals of 26s, but in the finals, everybody on the internet and everything was talking more about the guy who runnered up than the guy who won. And I felt bad. I don't want to take nothing away from Andrew. He had a bad hot rod. He beat me. But everybody was more ecstatic about me going through the net and then still making the finals and then doing a huge wheelie and trying to drive through it and barely lose it. You know what I mean? Like, dude, it's epic. Just the vibes back there, man, are awesome. Awesome.
But yeah, and like I said, we roll the punches here on this, man. Don't ever worry about that. But yeah, and going back and like I said, going through the net, like I think I've only heard of 2 racers ever really going through a net, and you're officially now one of them.
I can tell you, bro, that was the scariest feeling. Like I like to joke and goof around and stuff, but like I'm being serious right now. That was this. I got goosebumps again just thinking about it. Like my hair done stood up. That was the scariest moment I have ever felt in my in any car, anywhere, anything. I'm from the ghetto of SoCal. I have had people chasing me. I've had bullets going by me. Nothing compares to that, man. It was unexplainably, I was helpless, bro. Like, I knew how fast I was going and how fast that net was coming up to me. And I thought it was going to be way harder than it was. Shout out to Wagler for having that gravel pit. That gravel pit knocks a mile an hour out of me. Even though it was short, everybody's like, oh, that gravel pit should have been longer. It did its job, bro. It took a decent amount, a mile an hour away from me to where that hit was not as hard as it should have been. But, man, I'm telling you, reaching for the brake pedal, going, I'll tell you guys, I won't tell you how fast I was going, but I'll tell you I was going in the 140s, mid 140 mile an hour. So to go from that to grabbing the brake and it not doing anything and then pulling the parachute and it not doing anything, and I'm like, I pulled it to first gear, but I mean, there's only so much that's going to slow you down, right? Like, man, it was helpless. And then I just braced myself, and we hit the net, and I mean, oh my gosh, that was scary, bro. That was scary. I encourage everyone to do a nut and bolt check on all your vehicles. Check everything out, because that was my fault. That was 100% user error. If I would have realized that I had lost the safety bolt, the pads wouldn't have shot out. I could have 100% saved that, all of that. You know what I mean? Like, all that damage and stuff is just on me. Racing every weekend plays a toll on you. You think you're doing a nut and bolt, you think you're checking everything, and there's always that one thing that you miss, you know? Just so happened that was what I overlooked.
Well, I look at that as it was a learning experience, but a lot of tracks need to take that in consideration. They saw that net was such a good thing. It saved your life pretty much. And
it did, 100%.
I think that's something like a lot of these tracks, man, should look into on some stuff like that. Because I'm not saying we go to the greatest, most up-to-date tracks in the world and do this type of racing, but, some of these tracks, like little things like that, might just save somebody one day that never know. Because that's a freak accident. Nobody would ever thought you wouldn't have their brake pads fall off and that would happen, you know?
And no offense to any of my guys, but of course they're like second. I never pull the parachute, right? Like I'm in the habit of not pulling the parachute. Not a good habit, but it's just a habit. Like I hold my hand on the chute and I don't pull it if I don't need to. Like Poland, trying to keep the camera on me. Poland roasts me all the time in my in-car GoPro. He's like, dude, how are you going to have your hand on the chute but you don't pull it? So naturally, they're like, hey, Brent, please be honest with me, bro. Did you pull the chute or not? And I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, I pulled the chute. And they're, of course, sure you did. Like, I'm so happy I had that GoPro. And not that they were second guessing me. It's just, that's my nature to not pull the chute. I'm so happy that I had the GoPro to show the cable getting pulled out. You know what I mean? Like, you're right. It's a freak accident. For the cable to not come out all the way and the pad to fall out was just, I'm happy. I'm happy to be here. I'm very happy I got some people watching over me. I really attribute that to, Callie Nate and Ryan Fellows, bro, right away. They're my two main dudes that I know are up there watching me, and I really feel they had a lot to do with that. I really feel that they kind of helped slow the car down,
Yeah. And, and like talking the retribution after that, everybody coming together, getting the car back together, the parts, everything to make that next round. That's another testament. Like, we're talking the community, dude. You can't beat the community that we're part of.
It was epic. I know a handful of them guys. Like, I know Jeff, right? And I've met Jasper on Facebook, and he's a homie, and Team NX, all that stuff. But to be there in real life, to have all these guys that I've only met a handful of times or never met, only been friends with on social media. You guys saw the picture. You were there. You saw us sweating our balls off, bro. It was humid. All of us were pouring sweat. I got Jimmy Dale working on my brakes. Well, Jasper's working on my car. Jeff's doing an alignment. We had I had competitors. How Andrew was right there helping me. My buddy Ryan, who I raced around before when I crashed, right there, bro, jumping in, trying to help me. Like you said, a testament to the community was, that's an understatement, bro. It really lit a fire in my sails to really be. I feel bad saying Phil and Nate's shoes because no one will ever do that. But one thing that I attribute to Nate a lot was he was always there to help me. Every question I asked, every scenario, every little thing, before he even knew who I was, he was always willing to help me, and he always went out of his way to be that guy that answered all my questions. So if I can even be half of that to someone or offer some kind of help or anything, like that's what I want to do, and that
Yeah, that's
motivated
awesome.
me, man. That told me like that I'm not the only one out there like that. Every single one of those people that were involved put their stuff on the side, and we're only focused on getting that Mustang to the next round. And it was awesome, man. It was freaking awesome. I still
Dude,
shout out to everyone. I can't even name all you guys. Shout out to each and every one of you guys that helped me, man. That will live with me forever.
and dude, that's the stories that, like, when we're older, we're just gonna remember, man. We may not remember everyone, but man, that time everybody came together, we got
Oh,
the
we're gonna
car back
remember that
together,
one.
just
Yeah,
different stuff.
yeah,
So,
yeah. It's
but
epic, dude. It really is.
but we'll move, and like, we'll come back on some more of the track racing stuff. But like I said, I found about your car, the hate trainer, that through the street racing videos and stuff. And so, what really got you out in the street with the hate train and got you really sunk into doing that out there and everything on the West Coast?
That's really all we got out there, man. I mean, there's not really a lot of tracks. They're kind of few and far between. Um, it 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 sucks. I hate it. I hate that for the West Coast. I wish that they had a fraction of what we have out here because that really helps. It really helps light fires
Yeah,
and people to get their cars done, to keep their cars going. Well, anyway, that's all we had was streets, and that's where I tested all the time. We had cash days and everything like that. We had little shootouts, and that's what basically got me started. So, you go
yeah,
with what you know. You just I was
oh
entering all these cash days and doing no prep back of the track races and stuff like that. And it's just, I mean, you just once you kind of get good at something, you kind of stick with it,
yeah, yeah. What's one of the craziest street racing stories you got for the listeners?
I would say, um, the whole thing as a whole. So the story as a whole would be,
Hmm.
if you guys look up Border Wars, I think 1320 did a video, and I think there was a couple other people from California, and I can't remember who else, man. But we had a epic cash days. Ryan Fellow hosted it, Ryan Fellows, and it was in California, San Diego. The road was literally right on the freaking border, like the other side of the asphalt right there was the huge wall. Like no BS, not
Oh
not making none of
yeah,
that up.
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Epic, bro. Like the whole thing. So like, and not all of it got documented. So like, not all the experience. Of course, I wasn't that into YouTube. I didn't really pay attention. I was kind of doing my own thing. I wish I would have filmed everything back then. But like the night before, testing the vibes with all my West Coast homies, just testing on a street that was better than anything we've ever been on. Literally walking over to the border, goofing around with each other, seeing how far we could shimmy up the border wall. You know what I mean? Like, you know what's crazy, bro? I'm telling you, I got halfway up that wall and looked down, and I was like, well, I better just slide down. No one ever came to tell me to get down. No one ever came and said, hey, why boy,
What?
get your ass off that wall. Crazy, dude. Like, no one ever came to tell me. Like, they ain't worried about no one breaking into Mexico, that's for sure. Um, so, and then when Border Patrol did show up, I'll see if I think I have the video. I'll send you the video because I think you said you're recording this, so you can patch it in. I'll send you the
Yeah.
video. Dude, Border Patrol blocked the road for a semi that was trying to deliver to a warehouse. He stopped the truck and told me, go ahead, bro, I want to watch you make a hit. So my buddy's filming. He goes from the Border Patrol car like this and then pans over, and it's me sitting there on the two-step, take off. I mean, it probably run like a 530, 520, whatever, you know what I mean? Which was, for me at the time, one of the fastest passes I've ever made. So, I'm on cloud nine for running a personal best. Border Patrol literally shut the road down for us, right? I come back. We come back. We're hanging out. We're BSing. Border Patrol rolls up on a quad. They have their Border Patrol 450 or whatever, like a Yamaha 450. My buddy, I won't say his name just for legal reasons, but my buddy's like, hey, you should let me ride a wheelie on that thing. Before he even finished saying it, the Border Patrol jumped off and said, go ahead, dude. I am not making this up. My homie's riding a wheelie down where we're racing for a half mile on the Border Patrol quad, bro. It says Border Patrol on it. Lights are flashing. He's just riding a wheelie on it. Wop, 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 wop. Cops show up.
Oh,
All of a sudden, out of nowhere, here comes San Diego PD or whatever the cops is. And so we're like, oh, crap. We're in SoCal. Like, we going to jail. We're going to jail. The cop's like, hey, guys, whoa. Where are you guys going? Hold up. Like, we've never seen cars like this. What do you guys do? Are you guys filming Street Outlaws? Like, what's going on? We tell them the truth. Like, nah, man, we're illegal street racing, yada, yada. Like, hey, we know we shouldn't be here. We'll leave. He's like, leave? You guys don't have to leave. Hey, bro, there's street racing over here. Calls 2 more cop buddies to come watch. Insane, dude. That was during testing. So we leave. He says, hey, you guys mind if me and a couple buddies come out tomorrow night for the race and watch? We're like, we're not going to tell a cop, no, we don't want him to be mad. No BS. The dude showed up off duty with his family and watched the cash days. Was insane, bro. It was freaking epic. I think 1320 and them, they got some bits and pieces of that in their video. They got some bits and pieces of the cops showing up, telling us be safe, telling us they just want to watch. I think they got the cop even coming back the next day off duty. Like, wild, bro. Also, that same race, I'm new, right? Like, I'm still kind of, I don't have a name. No one knows who I am. This is one of the first races I've been to. I've been watching this DSM put in work on the street forever. Barney, or I think his name's, it's Usun. So I've been watching Usun put in work for a long time. I draw Usun first round. Oh. And I love Usun. If you watch this, bro, I love you. But I drove out of that boy's life. And I was ecstatic. I could not, my buddies were like, bro, you need to breathe, relax, chill, breathe. That was only first round. I'm acting like I won the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like, so then I draw this Fast Life Camaro. This next round, I draw these guys from Fast Life. It was a pretty good race till that turbo kicked in and we kind of just, we were able to edge him out. I freaking draw the bully himself. I draw Cali Nate.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, well, there goes the end of my program. And he did beat me. But if you guys watch that video, I 60-footed him, I 330'd him, and about 450, old boy just said, hey, I don't have a 5.3. I'm going to take off now. See you later. And he just, he probably put a half a car on me, but we were like door to door until then. And then he just big dicked me on the end, man, and just freaking. But it was epic for me because not only did I run door to door with Nate, I beat a guy that I had been looking up to forever, that Usun dude. Like, all the Border Patrol stuff happened. I've been on the best surface I had ever been on. Like, dude, it was epic. Most epic cash days I've ever been to, just because, like, the story with it, right? Like, the day before, like, we go to eat. We all meet up as a group. We go to this restaurant that's right on the border. No BS, bro. Instead, you know how you get chips and salsa at these Mexican restaurants? They gave us crickets and salsa.
What?
I'm not lying, dude. They gave us crickets and salsa. I thought someone was playing a joke. It was deep. I it's a delicacy, or it's like something they eat. They like season up grasshoppers and they eat them. Not for me, dog. I ain't doing it.
No.
No. But they gave them to us like it was the chips and salsa. I'm like, can I get some gringo chips, please? These grasshoppers ain't gonna cut it. Like, man, it was wild, bro.
Dude, I'm gonna use that line for now. Can I get some of them gringo chips?
Like, it was insane that they gave us. I couldn't believe they gave us. I can't find where the heck Weatherford is. I'm like over here on the side of the road trying to figure out where I gotta drive to. Yeah, it was wild, bro.
Dude, that's crazy. And something I saw you on one of the shows I watch a lot. I got to see Hoonigan's. What was it? This or That? I think it's the one
Yeah,
that
this versus
you were
that.
on too.
Yeah.
Yeah, how's that? Because that's a crazy. That's pretty much what you're on an airport surface, and they just line you up with a random vehicle, pretty much.
Yeah, they don't tell you who you're racing until you're there. Like, they don't. They tell you like, hey, we got you set up, we got you a match. It's funny because I'm going out there tomorrow. We're leaving tomorrow for the same
Oh,
race. My car's down though, so we're not taking my car, but we're taking Abney's daughter's Mustang, Laney's Mustang.
mm-hmm.
So we're taking that. So that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's cool. Because like I said, I got to see, and then I finally got to make the trip out to Texas. Got to come down to Yellow Belly, which whole experience in its own. I mean,
Yeah, I think that's
that
where I
place.
first saw you, right?
Yeah, yeah. You were over there, man, in the pits trying to get your turbo to spool up. And I can see you over there, man. I'm sitting in front of your car taking pictures. Like, I'm just getting some good shots. That's like I can see you visually in that car. Like, this man is ready to just like chuck this steering wheel out the window. This thing ain't spooling up, and Poland just hollers, "Just spray it."
It worked when I sprayed it, but and he's right. Like the nitrous will fix it, and that's what I love about the nitrous is like I had an underlying issue that I hadn't found yet, but the nitrous would still make it hit the two-step. The nitrous would still spool it. So what ended up happening was my reluctor wheel was not welded, and it actually spun on the crank, and the engine was retarded 15 degrees, a little more retarded than the driver was. So we had a bad combination. So 15 degrees retarded, we were still able to bang the button and it would still hit the two-step. So shout out to Nitrous Express, because without that, I mean, I would have struggled. I would have never even been able to get down the track. So if you remember, we were having a problem spooling, but we were still able to get there. It took us a little while, and it was still making decent passes. And that's only because that void that we were missing, I was making up for it with the nitrous.
Hey,
Whatever.
You got to improvise, man, on the spot sometimes.
Yep. So,
but,
yeah.
We're talking Nitrous Express now. Now you work at Nitrous Express with Poland and Jimmy and everybody. So what's it like sharing the office with all those guys, man?
Man, it's epic. So, but Jimmy Dale's not really there. Jimmy Dale's kind of like our remote Jimmy Dale. I don't even know what else you call him. Like he's just the remote Jimmy Dale. He's just kind of like us, does like remote sales. People hit him up. He's just like a salesman, which is great. I love the relationship we have with him, everything like that. But a lot of people think that Jimmy Dale's in the office every day, and he's not. If he was, I could only imagine the trouble we would get into. It's bad enough with me and Poland there. Like we definitely they got to wrangle us in for sure. They got some reins on us because we just run wild. I mean, you see some of the videos we do. Yeah. I could only begin to tell you the stuff that does not get approved. Imagine what doesn't get approved to get posted.
Dude, I'm telling you what, seeing those videos, that's cool for like me because you see it and that's like that makes you want to check out the product and everything with the company.
Exactly, man. And I pride myself, bro. That's just me. Like I have made it a point to be that guy that makes you smile. Like I want to bring more smiles to the gallon for this no prep racing industry or whatever. No prep, whatever. Like everybody needs to smile more. Every single race you go to, everybody's so serious. They're yelling at each other. They're screaming at each other. Man, at the end of the day, we got into this stuff because we love the passion. Not any of us. I mean, I got into this because I knew I wanted to be somebody, but we didn't start because I wanted to be someone. I started because I fell in love with this. So, you just got to remember, just remember the love for the sport. Just enjoy it. You know what I mean? That's what I just want to make people remember.
I think a lot of people forget we're doing this. This is supposed to be more fun than anything. This is not. Exactly. It's not supposed to be a job. It is the hobby. It's what we love to do.
And we do. A lot of us turn it into a job. I'm one of them. You know what I mean? And there's times where it is hard on the family. You know what I mean? It is hard on the family. I'm happy. Shout out to my family, my wife, my kids. I love all of them. Shout out for them to be understanding. There's times where, like when we did that Indiana and Small Tire Gangsters and I was in Arizona, I mean, bro, I'm telling you, that month and a half, I was home 3 days maybe. 4 days. You know what I mean? Because
Oh,
I went
dude.
to Indiana, got right home, and had to leave that night to go to Arizona to get back here to leave to go to back to Indiana. You know what I mean? To go to California, and it's just it's a lot. It really is. So that's the biggest thing that fuels me though. Is I have fun, and I remember to have fun, and my lens is all broken, so there's like a weird shadow of me.
No, you're good, man. No, bro. We got the double hate train. We got the upside down on the
Yeah,
top. We got the regular on the bottom.
it's like the Nitrous Express bottles. Buy one right now, get one. You know what I'm saying? Buy a system, get a bottle. It's that you got Brent, you're gonna get a Brent for free. But it's just I just tell myself like I just remember I'm doing this for fun, man, and I smile, I laugh at everything. I make a bunch of mistakes, I roast myself, I smile, I laugh, I turn it into humor. I I make mistakes in competition. I smile, I laugh, I turn it into humor. Yeah, I want to smash stuff. Yeah, I want to yell and scream. Man, that ain't gonna get you nothing but enemies or people looking
No,
at you like you're weird, you know.
no.
So
Yeah,
I think a lot of people just need to smile more, bro. That's all. And I want to make people laugh. That's why I wear them goofy outfits, and that's why I'm a goofball. And you know what I mean? I ain't scared. Make fun of
dude,
me. You ain't
that's
gonna hurt me more than I make fun of myself.
100%, man. I believe we need more. We need always more people like that in the sport, in my opinion.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, I mean that's the same. Like I always tell everybody, I'm like, even if it's something negative, something bad happens, you learn something, find the positives in it. Just keep moving forward. Hell with it.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
But
So.
so let's see. So I'm trying to think some good stuff. You've been doing some track racing. What's been the best track that you've been to do no prep, any type of racing? What's been the best track you've been to?
I would like to go to XRP because I'd probably quickly take the number one, but I think Ennis, in Texas there, the Motorplex. When I did that, we did the locals only finals there, and we had like 16 small tire cars, and hopefully they air it because I won. I had to race Boosted GT in the finals too, because we have to race a big name, and it was rad. I had to race Boosted and in the yellow car, and I beat him too, so that was freaking epic. But trying to keep that thing from wheelie and half track, I had 40 pounds on the nose, no weight in the back, and it was still wheelie and half track. Like I raced.
Jesus.
There's one particular race where I'll see if I can send you the video for that too, so you can clip it in. But where I raced this turbo Fox body, and this thing, I mean, my stupid car wheelies half track. It does the same thing like it did with Andrew in the grudge race. It wheelies half track, and then just sets down, and I edge out the wind. You know what I mean? And it's just like, but it did it in front of like a whole packed stand full of No Prep Kings fans. It was epic, dude. There's still people that write me like, I was at Ennis when you did that huge wheelie and beat that guy. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be known for that guy that wheelie gaps everybody because like it's cool. Like there's pictures of other people doing it. I saw Tommy did it the other day, but I'm pretty sure we've done it. I'm pretty sure I'm going through puberty on live right now, but I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I ate Kermit the Frog. I'm pretty sure we've done it like 5 or 6 times. You know what I mean? Like we've done it a lot, which is awesome. Like I think it's cool to be known for the guy that wheelie gas people. You know, it's pretty tight.
Oh, dude, I tell people all the time, I'm like, winners might win, but everybody remembers the guy that wheelies.
Yeah, that's what I said. To go back to what Jimmy Dale and Paul and them told me. They're like, dude, we have it where if you're not winning, you gotta steal the show. So tying it back to that finals of Gangsters Paradise, we didn't win, but I'll definitely say we stole the show with crashing, making the race, wheeling. You know what I mean? Like, so I love it, bro. I'm a showman. I love showing off. I do. I'm sure it'll backfire on me. I mean, there's been times where I've rolled the wheelie out too long and skimmed the wall and stuff. Man, I mean, I just kind of wrote it up as it's just the nature of the beast, bro. I know I'm the showman. I know I'm going to drive the wheels off, whatever. If I'm driving somebody else's car, I don't do that. So just to make that clear, if y'all want me to drive your car, I'm down with it. I won't drive it like a crackhead. But if it's mine, I drive it like a crackhead. And I've had people tell me, like, I made some hits in my buddy's Blazer, and I've driven in my buddy's Camaro, and they're just like, why don't you drive this thing like yours? Like, how come when it gets loose, you're letting out of it? Because back in the day, I tried to hero and drive the wheels off of one of my buddy's Blazers, and I crashed it. And I ended up having to pay for a lot of the damage, and it sucked. Like, having to pay for the damage for your own car is like, stupid. You know, like, you deserve that.
Yeah.
Having to pay for it for another guy's car, no, I have no problem because I caused it. But still, in the back of your head, you're like, man, like imagine what I could have done with this money to make my car faster. Instead, I'm putting it into this just to put this thing back where it was because I tried to be a hero and drive the wheels off something, you know. So there'll
Yeah.
be times where it's bit me in the ace, but man, I like to put on a show, bro. I like to have the crowd cheering. I like to have the crowd talking. You know what I mean? I like to have people talking about me for uh like I say, you know what I mean? Like, oh man, that dude didn't win, but he did a big old wheelie, you know?
Well, it's putting that if somebody pulls on
I got
property
an
and they
ego.
see the 4 Lug Thug is there, like they know they're about to get their money's worth no matter what.
Exactly. That's what I want. What you just said. I want, bro. I remember going to races when I was a spectator and like, oh man, I'm gonna watch Nate. This is gonna be awesome. When I was a racer, pulling up to race, I was like, Nate's here, dude. God damn it. You know, like, oh well, we're racing him, but God, this is gonna suck. Like I want that, bro. I love that feeling. I see why he did it.
Yeah.
It might be cocky, it might be egotistical. I don't care. Gap me. I don't mind losing. You know what I mean? Like I love that feeling that you get from like showing up on property and people are like, damn it, bro, I gotta race that dude. God dang, I gotta be on my A game. I like that. And I still get that. I still get that with a lot of other people. Like I still get that with a lot of people. But it's cool to think about I'm one of those people now, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Especially in the 20s. Dude, I'm telling you, that's probably going to be not one of the top 3. Like, watching that thing get down on 26s, dude, more time on that, that's going to be probably one of the most gangster cars on 26s right now.
I really feel that like it boils down to like if I want to be better at it, I just need to take the time and test and work on it.
Mm-hmm.
I literally saw there was a 26 class, was like, cool, that might be cool. Ordered 26s, made 2 test hits and showed up. Didn't check data. I don't have anything to look at. I don't have any wheel speed sensors. Like I don't have none of that stuff. I don't have any drive shaft sensors. I don't have nothing telling me what anything did. So I'm basically rolling the dice, using my boost leash. Shout out to Boost Leash. I love Randy's products. That's what I use to control my boost. I do run a Holly,
It makes
but I boost
awesome
control through
stuff.
Boost Leash. I love it, man. I love my boost leash. So, you know, I kind of make a little boost leash tune up. It sounds just like that too. It really does. And I roll the dice. I look at what it does. I see how fast it went. I look at the boost curve in the boost leash. I look at videos. From being in the car, seat of the pants, I kind of feel like, okay, at the 330, at the 400, I think it could take more here. I need to turn this down here. And, you know, I just kind of come up with a tune up. But I know, dude, like if I kind of focused, got the tools I need, looked at data, got the sensors and stuff, like I know it would help my game a lot. And I just tell myself, like, man, I'm already competitive right now with not using that stuff. When I'm ready to use that stuff, I hope it really elevates my game to the next level. I want to be one of the top 326 cars. Like my Fox, when it comes back out, it's not a small tire car. It's a 26 car, and we'll race some small tire classes or some true street classes when they're around. Like that car is going to be a 26 dedicated. You know, I'll race a true street on a 26. You know, that tire's gangster, bro. Like the mile an hour, everything, the results I got from that tire, gangster.
Dude, I love it, man, because that's where, you know, me and Happy's talked about it and a few others. Like, I think 26s is going to be the next big thing in the next couple of years. Like, it's gaining traction. I mean, look, very first time we're in the woods, and you got a full field plus some, and it's nothing, it's hitters. I mean, that's what I said, dude, that class has nothing but sky's the limit for it. I think it's going to grow and be the next small tire class. It's going to be as big, if not bigger, than what small tire is now.
I hope. I've talked to Happy about it. I've talked to a few other people, and I understand trying to get it introduced and stuff. I hope that they do implement some rules and stuff in it eventually to where we don't have these full-blown chassis cars taking it over, just like they did with small tire. If it happens, so be it. I have a chassis car. I'll have my chassis car on 26s. And it's not for me complaining. It's just for the sake of car count. Because I think a lot of the blue-collar guys might stop entering small tire, and they might start looking at 26 and thinking, all right, well, here's my blue-collar class. I could do this with my
Yeah.
everyday average Joe, their G body, the F bodies, the S10s, the Fox bodies. Everybody says, oh, yeah, it's going to be a Fox body only class if you take chassis cars out of it. What about Camaros, bro? What about G bodies? What about all these other race platforms that are a dime a dozen? So I think that class turns into the blue collar, everyday average Joe class. And I understand getting it introduced out right now. It's not getting dominated by chassis cars. I get it. I just hope it doesn't get to the point where it does. If it does, no problem. Like I'll be one of those chassis cars dominating it on 26s. But for the sake of the average other blue collar guy like me that might not have that tube chassis car or got a good deal on it, whatever, or the average Joe that just wants to go have fun, for the sake of them, I hope it doesn't turn into that.
Yeah. I see
But
100%
man, I love
from
that.
that.
I love that class though. Either way, I'm prepared for it. I'm down. Whichever way it goes, I'm okay with it. Just, I really feel that would help car count. I really, I kind of honestly feel that that's a little bit, not trying to stir up a whole bunch of stuff, but I feel that's what affects car count a little bit right now. Is you got these Ryan Mitchells, you got these, that Corvette, the Franks, you got all these guys that these big name cars showing up to like these no prep races like War in the Woods, where in small tire, like with these, they're awesome cars, dude. These chassis cars are rad. But I just think since 28's allowed chassis cars, you got all these big tire cars or normal radial cars, whatever, switching everything up, getting everything set up for no prep and coming and racing no prep, and it's dominating that class, which is all fine and dandy, bro. No problem. No problem at all. Here comes the introduction of the 26 class, which is great. It's an awesome class. So I think that would give the opportunity for those blue collar guys that might not want to show up to the race. Not everybody's a goofball like me. Like, I still race for the love of it. I'll give my $300 buy-in right to freaking Ryan Mitchell to race him. I don't care. Like, I just want to race. I want to have fun. It's a $300 ticket to know how much faster I need to be. So not everybody thinks like that. I get it. So I think that, kind of having something that might cater to a lot of the maybe more budget guys per se or something like that, I think it takes off. I really feel that kind of is what holds back, or what is holding stuff back a little bit right now, and I think that would kind of help it take off. So
Yeah, and I
that's
agree
just
with
my
you on
opinion.
that, man. I agree. I think, because I know somebody, we've seen a lot of split. I hear the budget small tire class and stuff, and I'm not like a fan of that, but I'm like, we've got these other options like 26s, True Street, and stuff like that for those guys to go into that don't want to do that. And, and I know I've had a few get mad at me, oh, it's too many rules now, it's all this. But I said, that's how we have to police it. That's how I keep you from getting your ass kicked every weekend and things like that. Give you a chance.
Yep, I get it. And it's like my Fox, man. It's seriously like, I think it's like the ideal car for a budget build example. Like it gets down, it's fast. I can run with I say 5 out of 7 days of the week, I can run with the big dogs. Like I'm not saying I beat them. I'm not saying I gap them, nothing like that. But I'm saying I could hold my own with them with that car. Only because I go out and test like a weirdo. I would go out and test every other day, so I know what my suspension does. I know what I can throw at it. I know what my car takes. I know what it likes. Not everybody's going to kind of want to roll the dice and just kind of throw it out there and hope it does good. So it's not a chassis car. It's a, factory floor, factory dash, factory firewall. Yeah, it has a tubular front end because I hit a dumpster and bent up the original front end, and it's just easier to freaking put a tube front end on it. But it's just like that compared to my other car, the Studebaker, which is a whole round tube chassis deal. Like, they're two different calipers of car. You know what I mean? And so, like, for that everyday average Joe to be able to want to be competitive in something that's fast like that, I think instead of coming up with that whole, we need a budget small tire class, I don't think adding to the pot, adding a whole other class like that is the answer. I think the problem,
I agree with you.
A lot of these guys have that everybody kind of thinks that same way. So their answer to it is, well, I'm just going to have my own race with my own rules. That's what kills car count. Then you got 17 races to choose from in a weekend. It just kind of waters it down. You know what I mean? Like, you got freaking E85. How much you gonna mix it with 87 before it's diluted? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
How much are we going to water down this industry before people are just kind of diluted and burnt out on it? The answer is not the guy thinking he has a better idea, so he's going to go do better things. The answer is supporting the events that are out there, getting in where you fit in, and supporting those classes. And if it's that 26 class, jump in the 26 class. You know what I mean? Buy a set of tires and just race 26s. All these guys complain, oh, I can't be competitive in 28s, but they're still out there in 28s. They're just complaining about it. Well, then just race down a class, and then you'll be competitive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's like I've said 100 times. There's no shame in dropping down to a class that you can be competitive in.
I had a few people roasting me. Oh, because I won True Street in Hobbs. I had a few people. Oh yeah, you freaking puppy kicker, you dropped down. Show me right now what is not True Street about my car. That's why I made all those videos driving it around. I drove it all around Wichita Falls. Like I drove it all. It was 114 outside. I drove that thing to work like 4 days. You know what I mean? Like just to prove a point. I can drive it, but I'd rather not sweat my balls off in that thing. You know what I mean? But I can drive it. I can drive. I'm not gonna go drive 100 miles in it just because it's gonna be uncomfortable, but I could if I needed to. If push came to shove. So I had metal doors, I had the glass windows, I had the metal front end, I had everything that everybody else has. And then people are like, "Oh, you puppy kicking, you race down." No way, dude. Not when small tires, full frame rail chassis cars that weigh 1,800 pounds, full carbon front end, carbon roof. Like I'm gonna get in where I fit in. Like you said, there's no shame in racing down a class. It's not racing down because I think I'm gonna have an edge. It's racing down because I can't always give away a buy-in. You know what I mean? Like I'm still on a budget. So if I'm like, hey, I think I'm gonna be competitive and go rounds in this class, or I'm just gonna get gapped by this carbon front end round tube chassis guy, I'm gonna try to race where I'm gonna be competitive. That's not racing down.
No, and I mean that's we write these rules for a reason, and they're put out there. And hey, you fit the rules, come and race it. That's where you fit, get in. That's how I've always been.
It was crazy, bro, at that race. I fixed it. I changed the windows, whatever. But I had a window delete in my car. That was another epic scrutinization or whatever. People were giving me crap because I had a carbon fiber window delete. The little side windows on the back of the Fox, like the trim was all kind of messed up, and I hated that the guy painted them. Like he painted them purple, and they look hideous, bro. I hated them being painted. I hated them. So I saw that this company made these carbon window deletes, and no one's ever said anything. I've run them carbon window deletes forever. So it literally on Google is a window delete. It's not a Lexan window upgrade. It's not about saving weight or nothing like that. Like it's the same weight as that glass window, really. I mean, I think when I weighed it, it was like a half a pound difference. It was just about looks, And I had one of my own coworkers protesting me. It was wild.
Dang.
Wow.
And you see that, as a promoter, rule maker, like I do a lot of my tech, I see that come up. I look at people like somebody's mad about that. Like, you're really mad about that? Like, come on now, come on. Like,
yeah, and I was
that
like, dude,
right
I put the
no performance.
Yeah, they tried, because it's funny because like I saw the whole thing happening when people were looking at the car, because the metal doors were painted the same color as the fiberglass doors. So at first people were tripping on the doors because True Street 2 weeks before that at this particular race didn't say, it just said must have factory front windshield. Didn't say anything about all steel, all glass. Didn't say any, I think it said must have metal fenders. That's all it said. Must have steel fenders. Didn't say anything about any other. So I left the fiberglass doors. Didn't say anything about no steel or all steel, all glass. Didn't say anything about the doors. Nothing. And they looked at me. No one even questioned it because the rules were like plain as day. Must have steel front end. They just worded it wrong, So they fixed it the next week, and it said all steel, all glass. Well, I took the fiberglass doors off and put metal doors on that were the same flat black. So I think what happened was they were trying to protest me. I think they wanted to protest me on the doors, and that was the only thing that they could fall back on, I think, because like it just doesn't make sense to protest over a window delete. You know what I mean? I think maybe that's what started. I think that's what started their conversation, and then they just kind of fell back on that because like the doors were metal. You know what I mean? They weren't fiberglass.
Oh hell! But,
It's
we're gonna
funny,
start
dude.
winding. Yeah. So
I'm
we're start winding down.
gonna.
I got some off the wall questions for you, and one that's
Okay.
kind of more. So, what is a bucket list race of yours?
So it was War in the Woods, but I went to War in the Woods. So I gotta think about it because like War in the Woods was my top tier bucket list race.
Okay.
I would say I would really like to go to like I really want to go to like a LS Fest or like a FL2K or a TX2K. Like I would really like to go to one of those races. I'm telling you guys right now, if you ever see me at LS Fest, mark my words, I'm doing the burnout pit and the 8th mile in the same car. I promise you
And
guys.
that's cool
I
as shit.
promise. Mark my words, I will throw some street tires on the car. We're going to run the burnout pit. We're going to have a good time. I'm going to throw some slicks on it, and we're going to run the 8th mile. I think it would be awesome content. If any companies want to help your boy out with that, I'm down here. I ain't going to say no. But I think it would be dope, bro. Like, there's no one out there doing that, man. And like I said, I know I'm not going to be the fastest guy. I don't have the budget to be remembered for being that dude that just gapped had the crazy fastest car, you know what I mean? I don't have the pocketbook for that, bro. But I promise I will be remembered for being one of the funniest dudes in this sport that anyone's met. I promise when I'm gone, people are going to be like, man, I remember this crazy mofo did this. He had his car in a burnout box, raced the 8th mile, did some Aussie style burnouts. He wore duck costumes. Like, I do this because I want people to just remember me and smile and laugh like that. I want to be remembered that way. Like I'm gonna stand out. I
Dude,
promise you. I ain't gonna be remembered for being fast, but I will be remembered.
that's like I said, we were talking about earlier. That's just awesome, in my opinion. Just to have that mindset. That's not just about the competition. This is about
I just want to have
going
fun,
and
bro.
having a good time, man.
I just want to
That's
have fun,
that's
bro.
what
I just want
racing
to
is to
go.
me. Having a good time.
I want to put on a show at LS Fest. Honestly, I want to go have fun, annihilate the tires in the burnout box, and then do a half-track wheelie down the track, show off for the fans. I don't have the fastest car to win at that kind of track event, but I could go out and put on a show and have YouTube videos go viral because I did a half-track wheelie after I just did some hoonigan-style gnarly donuts. You know what I mean? Like, how many drag cars are doing that at the same event? You know what I mean?
Oh, and
That's the
don't
stuff that I
forget,
want to do.
especially if you do the one at Bowling Green, you got to drive it to that gas station that's like right down from the track that they do that like epic after party and burnout shit at too. You got to take it there too if you do that.
Oh, dope. I'm down with it, bro. I am down. I don't know. I don't know when the Bowling Green LS Fest is.
I think
Hopefully
it's
I can
next
afford to
week.
make it. Oh, I am definitely not gonna make it.
Oh, hey, we'll put that.
The
That's your new
cars.
bucket list race then.
Yeah, that could be my bucket list because the car's like. Oh shit! I was put off the road. Anyway, the car's like back there. It's back there in pieces. Like we ain't gonna make that one.
But hey, they got one
So
next year, so that's your bucket list for next year now.
that's my bucket list for sure. And I want people to screen record this and hold me to it, bro. I promise you guys, mark my words. Even if it's not the Bowling Green one, maybe the Texas one is sooner because I know they do an LS Fest in Texas. I
Yeah,
will
they
be in the
do.
burnout box. I will be in the burnout box having fun, and I will be in the 8th mile, whatever class I could get in. I never looked at it. I don't know what classes they have, whatever, but I will be doing both. Like I will have the car there to chill in the NX booth. I will be there doing some burnout, goofing around, and I will be there drag racing. I promise.
Hell yeah, man. Now, my next question, because this will be our last question of the night, so this is going to go out because everybody knows I'm a food junkie. If you watch the table, you know. What's your favorite track food that you have had?
Taco lady at Yellow Belly, no question, bro. I'm from West Coast, and Texas Mexican food sucks, bro, except for her. Like, so it's like a little slice of heaven every time I can go to Yellow Belly because I will argue every single person till I am blue in the face. Texas Mexican food does not hold a candle to West Coast Mexican food. No question. No ifs, ands, or buts. There's no arguing it. No, I'm sorry. I love you. You guys got barbecue? y'all got barbecue on lock, bro. But West Coast has Mexican food on lock. So
So,
Taco Lady's definitely my go-to.
all right, so you go to the taco lady. Do you get the tacos or the quesadilla?
I get one of each, bro. Actually,
Ah,
I get a quesadilla.
that's a good answer.
I get a quesadilla. I get the big chicken quesadilla, and I get a carne asada taco, a chicken taco, and then one of the
Mhm.
gringas tacos, which is like everything or whatever.
Yeah, when
So
I went,
I
when we
get
were
everything.
at Small Tower Gangsters, I got the tacos and they were good. Don't get me wrong, they were good, but I was like, yeah, they're okay. Limpy looks at me and says, "You gotta go get the quesadilla." He said, "That's where the money's at. It's the quesadilla."
The
Dude,
quesadilla
I got that.
fire.
Dude, life changing.
Yep.
But
I get both. I'm a
man,
fatty, bro. You don't get this dad bod for not eating. You know what I'm saying?
hey, I'm right there with you, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir,
but
man. So,
but as we close out, man, is there any sponsors? Anybody you want to give a big shout out, thanks to, anything like that?
man, I want to shout out everybody, bro. Like everyone, every single person that's just a follower on my Facebook, my Instagram, my TikTok. You guys, and if you're not a follower, you can just find me by typing "Hey Train" on any of those platforms. I'll come up. But you guys motivate me each and every day. I look at everybody's comments. I try to comment back to everyone. I love the support that I get from everybody. Everybody's saying like "People's champs." I'm doing it out of a 2-car garage, running with the best of them. I hear it, bro. I see everybody's comments, and you guys mean the world to me. Seriously, like a little dork that had the crappy upbringing that I had. Like I didn't have the best childhood, whatever. That's a story for another day. But to go from where I started to where I am now, to be able to like go to airports and have international airports and people stop me and they're like, "Hey, bro, aren't you that Lug Thug dude from Street Outlaws?" Like, I love it. I love it. I love it. And that could not be possible without spectators, the viewers, the followers. Second, my wife, my kids. I love you, Amanda. Like, and she life goal. I want to be a famous street racer. Like most women would be like, "You're stupid, bro. What are you talking? That ain't gonna make no money." So I just shout out to my family, sponsors. You know what I mean? Outlaw Race Engines, UPR, Nitrous Express, Strange, Forced Inductions. I mean, I got a lot of people that help me out, and I got people that go above and beyond for me all the time. Blue Sign Performance, my boy Tim Rigby has really instilled a lot of really knowledgeable lessons, and he's always there to
OG
answer my
radio
phone.
guy.
Yes, sir. You already know.
Yes,
That's
sir.
my boy, bro. I'm so happy and I feel so blessed to have such a knowledgeable dude. And he really is like a father figure to me. You know what I mean? Like they are family to me. And for him to be as knowledgeable as he is, to have him basically in my pocket, I feel blessed, bro. I can remember so many races or so many times where I was trying. When I started racing, I hated water only. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. Bare surface water only, I would make fun of everyone. I would never do it. I hated it. I would not do it. You wouldn't catch me at any of those races. I tried to do it one time and I got beat by like the car that was the slowest car there because I was spinning and I hated it. It really it messed my ego. Like I'm just being honest. It ruined me. And when I moved to Phoenix, Tim was like, "Come here, little buddy. I'm gonna show you how to do this." So for him to have the knowledge of radio racing and that water only stuff, like I would like to say, dude, I will openly say I will race anyone for $500 on a bare surface that we have never been to on 28s. I will race anybody. I don't care if I lose. I will race anyone on a bare surface, 28s, that a road we've never been to, water only, on a crap surface. Anyone. I'm not saying I'm going to win, but it's going to be a good race. And that's the confidence that I have now because Tim has helped me build that. You know what I mean? Like we're pretty quick on a bare surface. And I don't mind losing. That's not a cocky call out by any means. So if anybody screen records it, it's all good, you know. It's not cocky by any means. It's just if I lose, I lose. That's awesome. But I'm confident on this type of surface, you know. I'm confident
Oh
that
yeah,
whoever I
dude.
race is gonna have their hands full, you know. Um and then Nitrous
If you
Express,
don't,
bro, give me the awesome. Go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna say, if you don't go in confident, what's the point, anyways? Everybody's got to be confident.
Yeah,
Win or lose, hell, you gotta have confidence.
yeah, exactly, bro. My boy Brian, bro, getting back to thanking people, my boy Brian
Yeah.
Mitchell and Kingman is really the reason why I'm into this. Like, he was the one that beat me with that Honda I told you about in the G-Body
Mhm.
and made me sell it. Ended up being my best friend in the whole entire world, bro. A dude that I had never met before, And when I raced him, he made me want to sell my car. I was the typical V8 butthurt. I sold my car because I got beat by a Honda, and now that dude's my best friend. But he has a turbo LS. I converted him. No more Honda. No more Honda.
hey,
I win.
hey, hey! I started in the turbo four-cylinder world and went to the boosted V8 world, so I feel it.
No, it's all good. It's all good. But bro, he's been my A1 day one. Really like been there for me. Really got me into it. I started out being his crew guy and helping him. You know what I mean? So just, and then to touch on that, my boy Brad Fahey's been my tuner, my fab guy since day one, and he has killed it, bro. He does all my tuning for me. He doesn't do anything of my. He has nothing to do with my power management. I do all that myself. He tunes it when it's on the dyno, and then when I leave the dyno, I'll just send him some data logs every once in a while. Whenever I do remember to look at a data log, like once every 6 to 8 months. And then he, we might make an adjustment. He might send me a revision, but like he's just on point with what he does. My motors lasted. All of my motors have always lasted. We don't lean on them. I've probably had 600 to 800 passes on every single 5.3 that's been in there. I've beat the crap out of them. You know what I mean? Like I race like a crackhead every weekend, and then testing like every day, every other day. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. I'm starting to learn that I need to YouTube all that stuff and make videos. I used to be kind of secretive and not want to show anybody, but now I'm just like, man, I might as well make the content and have fun. So anyway, I don't mean to keep everybody. But yeah, Brad Fahey, my A1 day one, bro. Awesome fab stuff. And then a handful of a whole bunch of other people. You guys know who you are. I might not remember your names, but I got a whole bunch of, good buddies that have motivated me and helped me over the time. Tier 1 transmissions out of Arizona. When I had that shifter issue, they, called me up, ordered me a shifter, said, hey, man, we want to watch you. You're good for the sport. Andrew Blanton did the same thing, man. My wing, when I crashed and I bent my wing up, he just said, hey, bro, you're good for the sport. I love what you bring to the sport. I want to help you out. So, shout out to him. You guys need a drag wing. He's the guy you need to go to. Man, I got Turbo Smart. I love Turbo Smart. Man, I make an awesome boost, a wastegate and blow-off valve. I ran them things through the net, smashed them up against all the tubular front, and it's still controlled boost, and we were able to make the next round, and they still did their jobs. It was amazing. Cricket, mangled up. They looked like they just got ran over, but they worked.
Man, that's
I mean, awesome. Like I said, I got a whole list of people, bro. My boy. Sorry, I talk a lot, dude.
Oh, you're good. Oh, you're good, man. You're good. Like I said, that's just like I said, going back to like the whole thing that started, like the whole community. You just can't beat the community that's in the sport.
Yep. And I mean, I shout out to the haters too, bro. I mean, I can't forget you guys. I appreciate everyone. I got a lot. I know I have a whole group of people waiting for me to fail. I have a whole group of people who told me I was dumb for leaving and chasing. I left a job. I made very, very, very. I was a car salesman. You guys couldn't have guessed. I was the number one car salesman where I worked. I did very, very good. I'm a people person. You guys could probably already see why I was probably number one, because I love people. I love hanging out. I love talking. And I was knowledgeable with cars. That really helped me. So I left a 6-figure job to chase a dream. And I had a lot of people telling me I was dumb, yada, yada. So I know that in the back of their minds, they're probably waiting for me to fail. Shout out for y'all watching, because you're watching. Y'all are still getting me paid on social media. You're still helping me get my content shared. Even if you don't like it, you're still giving me them views, and I love it, bro. So shout out to the haters, because without haters, we would not be successful.
No, that's your motivation right there.
Yep, and I love each and every one of them, bro. You won't catch me hating on anyone. Like I make some goofy jokes here and there, but you won't catch me like really seriously dry hating on anyone, just because I got love for everybody. So, all the haters, I hope you're watching this. I love all y'all, and I hope it makes you mad telling you guys that I love you guys. I love you guys so much.
Hell yeah, I do. Well, man, this has been enjoyable as hell. We'll get back. We'll do a part 2 to this too, man. After we get through the season, get the car back up and go and get the new car. We'll talk more on that stuff.
Yep, I don't plan on going nowhere, bro. I love the camera. I'm not shy with this stuff, bro. I don't plan on going nowhere. I'll bring another car out. I still plan on hopefully building my name. I'm trying to be at a lot more races. To touch on the 26s, I really feel we have a competitive car on 26s. I just been kind of going like a crackhead, and that's kind of another reason why I wanted to tear the car down and kind of maintenance everything, and kind of come back out with a kind of a whole new deal. And just because, my shifter breaking and just all this dumb stuff happening, I haven't lost. Like, I didn't lose the 26th race because someone beat me. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't lose any of those races because someone just flat drove out of my life. I lost to myself every single time. My shifter had an issue. I lost to myself. You know what I mean? Like, I really feel that we could have had that other car covered. Not talking crap. And then racing Andrew, like it was a great race in the finals there. But with everything that had happened, I really feel that if we wouldn't have went through the net and we would have kept the car whole and ran the number that we would have ran, I mean, I went extremely slow in the finals, over half a second slower than what I was normally running. So I feel that if it would have ran what it ran, I really feel that we would have had it. Of course, coulda, woulda, shouldas, right? And shout out to Andrew, bro. He beat me. He took the dub. He earned it. He's got a fast hot rod. But I don't feel that he just flat drove out of my life and beat me. You know what I mean? Like, I did a huge wheelie and had to pedal it and let out, and the car was all stupid, going crooked because we just ran it through a net. It is what it is. It's part of it, not making an excuse. I'm just, that stuff and knowing that is what really excites me, because I'm like, man, I know when I come back out and this thing's 100%, like, it's been a contender at like 70%. So when she comes out at 100%, she should be a contender, you know? Like, oh boy, you should run pretty good, or I'm gonna take you, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna say I'm going for milk and I ain't coming back.
Jesus Christ. But hell yeah, dude. Man, I look forward to seeing you soon back at the races and stuff, man. Seeing that car back out on some 26s kicking some ass, man.
Yeah, I'm really trying to make War in the Woods is in a couple weeks, so I'm really trying to make it there with the Studebaker. I'm really, really, really trying to be there. I don't know what tire I'll be on yet. I got to test and see. That's going to be a whole new world for me. I've been turbo LS for my whole life, and I know how to power manage that. I know how to suspension tune with my car. So, you know, this 4-link lightweight chassis car with nitrous big blocks is going to be a whole new world. But nitrous power, baby! Nitrous Express for the win. Anyone needs any nitrous stuff, don't hesitate, hit me up. Or just go on our website and order whatever the heck you guys want. Use code 4Lug Thug. No, sorry, cut that out. Use code 4Lug. Gonna save y'all 10%. Code 4Lug at checkout is gonna save y'all 10%.
I'll make sure to put that in the description too for everybody too. So, but man, I appreciate having you on tonight, Brent. It's been an awesome chat. Like I said, we're gonna do a part 2 to this, man. After you get the Studebaker going, and we're gonna talk about the Studebaker.
Heck yeah, and I can't wait, bro. Thank you, man. I appreciate the opportunity. Like I said, it's really surreal. I mean, I've been watching you interview people for years. You know, I've been watching you watching you guys on these lives and everything, and then to now, like, be involved and, you know, have people hit me up, hey, you want to go on our live, or hey, you want to go on my podcast, bro. It's awesome. I love it. It is freaking surreal. I'm sure you could tell I love the camera. I love being a goofball. I don't get camera shy, you know what I mean, by any means. I love it. I love every aspect of this whole entire everything. It is awesome, bro. Like, I love, like, I mean, awesome.
Dude, I'm the same way. Anytime I get to talk and hang out and with my friends and talk about racing too, it's a good day. I love it.
Yep.
But hell yeah, man. Well, just be safe heading out to the West Coast, man. Like I said, we'll check back in. We'll get part 2 of this done with the Studebaker, and hopefully I'll be at War in the Woods, so I'll see you up there, man.
Yeah, man, I can't wait. Thank you again, bro. Shout out, bro. Thanks for thinking of the little guys, man. It really, really means a lot, bro. Last message I got to say to everybody out there is don't give up, man. Chase your dreams. I'm living proof that you could be some little dork from nowhere. I came from a little hillbilly town, no skills. I didn't graduate high school. I was a punk little kid, always getting in fights, going to juvenile hall. And you could do whatever you want, man. You could put your mind to it. You could do whatever the heck you want to do, man. Don't let anyone ever stand in your way and tell you that you can't achieve your dreams, because you can do whatever you'd like, man. You put your mind to it, you believe, you can achieve, man. So here's to the little guy right here trying to make it, budget built race cars, putting it down for everybody, putting it down for everyone. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, man. Hey, no problem, man. Thank you for coming on, and thank you to everybody for listening to this week's edition of the Spoold Media Podcast.